Amen. I'm very glad to hear that, because it's a sign that indeed I have strength. Praise the Lord. Yeah, because if you look at the church, you know that many are going to celebrate Easter. If they believe it's Passover, they would have been there. Amen. But because they believe it is Easter, that is why they're not in the church. Amen. And interestingly, we started the topic 2 weeks ago. Passover, they would have been there. Amen. But because they believe it is Easter, that is why they're not in the church. Amen. And interestingly, we started the topic 2 weeks ago, and it is called the Ten Commandments. So today we're supposed to be discussing 10 Commandments, part number Easter edition. 10 Commandments, part 3, Easter edition. So that you remember. Put your hands on the Lord Jesus. Amen. I remember I was coming from somewhere with you in the course of this topic, and we got to a point where I made you realize that there was a time in the history of religion, in the history of serving and worshiping God, and then somebody, when religion and idolatry were merged together. Praise the Lord. If you remember very well, I gave you some portion last week. Amen. And I gave you a portion in the book of Judges, chapter 8, verse number 24, where I told you that the effort Gideon made out of the gold materials he collected from the members of his army as spoils of war were worshipped after his reign. I also told you that even the staff of Moses, praise the Lord somebody, was worshipped in the days preceding the time of Hezekiah as the king of Israel. And we got that portion in the book of 2 Kings 18, verse number 4. Is it true? And I also told you that in Jeremiah 44, 16 to 28, that the people of God started worshiping the Queen of Heaven, believing that they are serving Virgin. So, but even at this point, the Virgin Mary has not even come. Is it true? Oh, come on, are you confused? In Jeremiah, was Mary there? Mary came after Jeremiah, is it true? So you see, even before Mary came, the Queen of Heaven were being worshipped by the people of God. And it is written in the book of Jeremiah 44, verse 16 to 20. Amen. We're going to brush through that, because today is special. And indeed, like I said, this is the time where religion and idolatry were mixed together. So in this dispensation, idolatry has gone beyond bowing down to image made with hands, but through intellectual concepts. Intellectual concepts. In our minds, we serve idols. That's why sometimes when you read mystical books, it is another form of idolatry. How many of you know mystical books? It's called progressive. Those days, while we were small, we were in primary school, what was written in our days was to write, praise the Lord, we write to America, they will send you questions to one Bible school. When you answer, they will send you a Bible, and you treasure that Bible like life. Praise the Lord. The next thing that was in both those days was to write to India. They will send you talisman. Is it true? I remember one man wrote to India, they were communicating at the point they sent him ring. Amen. And they asked him to cut his blood and touch the ring with it. Praise God. But he was very smart because he did not trust the people he was communicating with. So what he did was to cut the blood of the goat. And the moment he touched the ring with that blood that came from the goat disappeared. This is life story. Praise the Lord, somebody. So these are mystical books, worshiping of idol through reading of books. You know, books like a great message. People buy them and read so much. You know, you have, in our days, we have novels. They came like novel. If you go to literature bookshops, you see them rampant. I call them rampant. Lost and rampant. Praise the Lord. They are mystical books. When you read them, they tell you at 12 a.m. buy them and read down, stay close to water, read so portion of that book into the water, drink, and something happens. These are idolatrous worship. You have 7 books of Moses. Those that read these books are mystical people. They are not Christians. And I know some churches use that. As a matter of fact, a lot of things are happening in churches today. Hello. I know of a church that, before the pastor will preach, he will bring one church, a full bottle, and they ask him why. He says for anointing to flow. A lot of things are going on in South Africa. There is a church that used beer for deliverance. So we go for deliverance, you see 3 times anointing will flow. I don't know if people like that method, maybe I change. Give a hand to the Lord Jesus. For this idolatrous worship and serving another God, as a matter of confusion in Christianity today, I feel so bad. I can't find a way to describe it. Because the forerunners of this Christian missionary work, did a very good job and handed over to those who destroyed all what they suffered. Amen. Before power was taken away from Catholic Church, many people died, many souls. There were a lot of matter. I read a book that said the people that held the word of God in its original copy, the original copy of the word of God, they called them the wildings. Because the Catholics were looking for them to destroy. They had to drive them across the mountain. Many of them died. Only few survived. Why were they doing that? To retrieve all the copies of the Bible so that nobody will have access to it. Martin Luther suffered. A lot of missionaries suffered. If you read the book they call God's Generals, you see people that really paid with their blood to uphold this book and to make it available today. Suddenly, those they handed over have come on to destroy everything they worked for. I almost shed tears yesterday when I saw online when a prophet with his 2 sons went to declare unto Islam. That is not even enough because that is a whole story. But the storyline there is that both of them, 3 of them were banned. Alpha was battling them. Why? Alpha said the reason why was battling them was because they are dreadlock. So Islam rejected dreadlock. Even like I say every day, dreadlock is demonic, is water spirit stuff. And people still carry that into church, and people go and kneel before them in the name of prayer, but even Alpha know that it is. And for them to submit to Islam, they have to allow them to bring back and remove the dreadlock who is fully grown. You see how much deteriorated Christianity has gone to. We're totally confused religion. But I know they are still remnant. And the truth is always there. If you want the truth, you will know the truth. And the Bible says only the truth that you know. If you want to join the multitudes are out there, you can join them, you can. But remember, the Bible says the road is very, and only very few. So you cannot play ignorant here. The word of God is there for us. Amen. So when you choose to serve idol in your heart, do not say nobody knows. Like I said, today's generation, idol is no more worshipped by kneeling down before oracle. We worship them in our heart. The Bible said even covetousness is idolatry. Amen. They found about 14 to 16 billion naira in a house. They said nobody wants it. Can you imagine? 16 billion is an orphan. No mother, no father. I have to go and adopt him. What do you think? I think I should apply for adoption. Put your hands on the Lord Jesus. So in this same spirit of opening up the hidden things, how far we've gone in the toleration in Christianity, it happens that as we're treating this topic, we found ourselves in Easter period. What a nice time to talk about this. If you're in the spiritual Jesus. Easter, I've done justice to this topic, but for the benefit of those who joined us not that long ago, I'll start all over again. And for the benefit of those who were there when I treated this matter years back, there's still more to learn. If you are ready, shout Jesus. So the first question starts from, was Jesus really crucified on Friday? You see, we don't need to speculate. When you say it be like, we need to go into the Bible and search out the truth. Remember what the Bible says in the book of John? It says, do not add to this word. If you do, you add trouble, pain, condemnation into your life. Do not subtract. If you take away your life. Amen, somebody. In the book of life. And which means when you're treating anything in the word of God, be very careful. So I think we need to look into this, and I pray so much that whatever you're going to learn today, whatever we're going to read today, in the course of this topic, you should allow it inside of you. And when I treat topics like this, I don't do it for the joy of it, but for the fact that I know that when I teach you, you'll be able to train someone else. And that's why for the past 2 weeks I've been yelling. As many of you should come out with your notebooks. If I haven't known. Glory to God. I appreciate that. If you do not have, God will give you one. Or better still, you come out for the CD and pick the message raw. Amen. Then if you have your own, please make sure you write. And after writing, let me add another please. Read it and understand it. We shall go with it. Amen. So let's talk about his death and resurrection. Amen. Let's see and start from Matthew chapter 12. Matthew chapter 12. Verse number 38 to 40.
Matthew 12 from verse 38. One day, some teachers of religious law and Pharisees came to Jesus and said, Teacher, we want you to show us a miraculous sign to prove your authority. But Jesus replied, only an evil and adulterous generation will demand a miraculous sign. But the only sign I will give them is the sign of the prophet Jonah. For as Jonah was in the belly of the great fish for 3 days and 3 nights, so will the Son of Man be in the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights.
God bless you. So we start from the word of God, and this word came directly from who? Jesus. This man cannot make mistake. Remember, he was God in man flesh at that moment. Praise the Lord. So he was the Alpha and he was the Omega. And one thing God cannot do is to tell lies. Praise the Lord. So remember, the essence of this is to see how Easter, Good Friday, Lenten season is connected to idol worship. Follow me as I read you. When we read just said that Jesus declared himself by himself with his mouth, praise the Lord, that he was going to stay at the belly of the earth like Jonah stayed in the belly of the whale, the fish, for how many days? 3 days and 3 days and 3. This is said long before he was arrested. And finally, he was arrested. He was arrested. He was judged. Amen. Found guilty. They crucified him. And let's see John's account. John chapter 19, verse number 31. Take it to the devil.
John 19:31 to 33. It was the day of preparation, and the Jewish leaders didn't want the body hanging there the next day, which was the Sabbath, and a very special Sabbath, because it was the Passover. So they asked Pilate to hasten their death by ordering that their legs be broken, then their bodies would be taken down. So the soldiers came and broke the legs of the 2 men crucified with Jesus. But when they came to Jesus, they saw that he was already dead. So they didn't break his legs.
Read verse 42.
Verse 42. Okay, verse 42. And so because it was the day of preparation for the Jewish Passover, and since the tomb was close at hand, they let Jesus here.
The Bible is saying here that Jesus was arrested, judged, crucified, no controversy. Remember that even at the point of resurrection, when it was discovered that Jesus resurrected from the tomb, he wasn't over in the tomb, that the soldiers and the Pharisees had to pay people around, even ordinary soldiers that were keeping guard, to go and tell the world that the people stole his body, that he did not resurrect. So the hard work of Satan has always been to make sure that the issue of resurrection is drawn into controversy or disbelief entirely. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. So let's begin from where Bible took us to. In John 19 it says that as Jesus was crucified, they were preparing for what? Passover. And the Passover we know in the Bible that is very common is Saturday. Am I right? Praise the Lord. Just give your attention so that you'll be able to teach someone else what you are learning now. So for the Passover we know in the Bible is Sabbath, which is Saturday. But just hold it there and let's go. Now we say, because tomorrow will be Passover. Praise the Lord. I didn't say Saturday, I said Passover. Because tomorrow will be Passover. The people hastened. They were in a hurry to make sure that these 3 people crucified, not only Jesus came, understand it very clear. The 3 people on the cross that day, the 2 thieves and Christ, did not have them stay alive till the time Passover starts. Passover usually starts in the night, but precisely from 12 a.m. Passover starts. So whenever it is dark on the preparation day, everybody withdraws because Passover was almost at hand. Just like the day they say Oro is coming. If you live in an area prone to that, you discover if they say Oro is coming by 12, by 10 everybody is at home. Is it true? Similar thing. So Passover naturally starts from 12 a.m. Amen. But whenever it is dark, everybody withdraws. So the people are now saying, make sure these people are not alive, which means they have to die because they don't bury them alive. The Lord says, any criminal crucified must die. Then you bury them. Praise the Lord. So now let us make sure they are not alive so that we can quickly do what? Before God bless you. Amen. And I'm about to say in Isaiah, I say not even a bone of his was broken. That was why before they came, Jesus was already dead. And the two thieves probably were alive because they had to break their legs to make sure that they were dead. Amen. And if you read that portion that he continues, he said, to fulfill the scripture that says, not a bone of his shall be broken. And it says again that the soldier will look directly, they will behold him that they crucified. And that's why when they were watching, they concluded that he was there. What did that in Isaiah say? It said, and the sight will be pierced. To confirm that this man was dead really, one soldier used the spear and opened up the side, and there came water. Scripture fulfilled. Amen. Then let's go a little from I hope you understand what Bible said. In that same portion, before we go to the next problem, the Bible said he was quickly buried. Is it like that or not? Sister, take that again. He was quickly buried.
The place of crucifixion was near the garden, where there was a new tomb, never used before. And so because it was a day of preparation for the Jewish Passover, and since the tomb was close at hand, they laid him there.
Did you hear that? The moment they confirmed that he's dead, there was already a tomb. Whether they prepared the tomb knowing that the Sabbath was at hand, they had to quickly rush in there and do what? Because that tomb was already made. So indeed, Jesus. And if you read the reports of Mark, Mark says he died at what hour? 9th hour, which translated to 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Jesus bread the last bread. 3 p.m. So between 3 p.m. and dark, they hurriedly buried him so that they will not offend the law of Sabbath. Put your hands for the Lord Jesus. Amen. Now let's see Mark account. In Mark chapter 16. I hope you're keeping record. Please allow me to sink in your mind because we need to flow together with this. Mark chapter 16, verse number 1 to 3. Mark 16.
Mark 16, 1 to 3. Saturday evening, when the Sabbath ended, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome went out and purchased greater spices, so they could anoint Jesus' body. Very early on Sunday morning, just at sunrise, they went to the tomb. On the way, they were asking each other, who will roll away the stone for us from the entrance to the tomb? Praise the Lord.
God bless you. Is it like that in your Bible? I know. If anybody is sleeping, ask her. Ask her, are you with us or against us? Praise the Lord. Are you with me? John's account says, I'm coming to that. John's account says, I want us to take it again so that we can understand it fully. This man was hurriedly buried because Sabbath was at hand. The man started by saying, after the Sabbath. Are you still there? Are you with me? Is it like that in the Bible? John says he was hurriedly buried because of Sabbath. Then Mark starts another story after the Sabbath. So it means at this point, Sabbath has come, and if you agree, just obey the agreement. God bless you. Which has already now nullified, cancelled Saturday as the Sabbath the Bible was talking about. Are we getting confused? Because if it were to be Saturday Sabbath the Bible was talking about, it would have been on Sunday now, a day after the Sabbath. Is it correct? Is your opinion? God bless you. So it means there was another Sabbath before the Saturday Sabbath. Amen. Of course, there used to be sometimes in a year 2 Sabbaths. Do you know why? If you read the Bible, we're going there. It talked about, it called this one High Sabbath, which is the real Passover that the people of Israel received as a commandment in somebody. This was the commandment they received when they rubbed the blood at the lintel. And God said that wherever they are, this celebration should always mark in remembrance of the day they exited Egypt. That was the mark that caused the hand of death to stay every house belonging to the people of Israel. Even the special Jesus. Yeah. So that was the Passover we're talking about. The Saturday Passover was the Passover carried along in 10 commandments, which demand on that day you need to rest. The difference here is that the other Passover comes once a year and it will fall into any day. Are you with me? But the Saturday Sabbath comes every week. There's a reference to that, and that's the only place Easter was mentioned. In the book of Acts 12:4, the Bible says that Peter was chained, and at the same time they were trying to make sure that everything in place before the Passover. That's why that's where we have mistranslation. And the first King James call it Easter, but other King James call it Passover. Acts 12:4. Can we read that before we continue? Acts chapter 2, verse number 4. Quickly.
Acts 12:4. Then he imprisoned him, placing him under the ground of four soldiers' feet. Herod intended to bring Peter out for public trial after the Passover.
God bless you. They want to bring him out after what? This Passover was the yearly Passover. Praise the Lord. And that was why the first translator called it Easter. Are you there? Because if it was the weekly Passover, it would have been left like that as Sabbath day. I don't know if I'm saying someone here. Hello? Are you in the spirit? Shout Jesus. So firstly, I've established that Jesus died, he was crucified and buried before Passover from the biblical account, and we're moving on to prove that there are 2 Passovers in that week. Put your hands for the Lord. Are you still there? So the Mark account we read, am I right? Hello. Mark account, Mark 16, verse number 1 to 7. Hello? It says, when the Sabbath was past, I'm reading King James, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and Salome, had bought sweet spices that they might come and anoint him. In verse 2, and very early in the morning, the first day of the week. Are you there? Hello? Listen now. The first Passover happened. Then after the day of Passover, they went to the market. Praise the Lord. When they came back from the market, they start preparing it. After preparing this, because this was according to the tradition of the Jews, to anoint the body of the dead for decay. But this is for the special people. Are you there? So those things they went to buy in the market were to be prepared in order to anoint the body of the dead Jesus. So when they came back from the market, they had to prepare. And by the time they prepared the whole thing finished, there was another Sabbath. Amen. Then after the Sabbath, they now want to go and anoint, and they met the open tomb. Let's see, we get it clearer now. Let's see Luke's account. Luke chapter 23. Luke 23. 54 to 56.
Luke 23, 54 to 56. 54 says, this was done late on Friday afternoon, the day of preparation, as the Sabbath
was done on
Friday afternoon.
Okay.
The day of preparation, and the Sabbath was about to begin.
Did you hear that? What was okay? Continue.
As his body was taken away, the women from Galilee followed and saw the tomb where his body was laid. Then they went home and prepared spices and ointment to anoint his body. But by the time they were finished, the Sabbath had gone, so they rested as required by the law.
Now read 24, 1 and 2.
He said, but very early on Sunday morning, the women went to the tomb, taking the spices they had prepared. They found that the stone had been rolled away from the entrance. So they went in, but they didn't find the body of the Lord Jesus.
Praise the Lord. Are we flowing? Are you getting God? The first place in John says Jesus was crucified and hurriedly buried. Then after the burial, the following day, they went to the market. Praise the Lord. King James reported that the women also, in Luke 23, came with him. Let me start from 54. And the day was the preparation, and the Sabbath drew on. Amen. Good news as well. The New Living Translation account says Friday. Is it making sense? Praise the Lord. Welcome. Someone was crucified today. Tomorrow, who I will use as an example now? You stand up. I stand up like this. But you are not crucified now. You are about to get married. I know it, but to Jesus also, so that your husband will be enemy. Praise the Lord. Your marriage is supposed to take place a day like today. But there's a tradition in your place that says after the marriage, right, there is some gift that will be bought for you. But in your tradition, just like my place, we don't marry on Igbo market day called Nkwo. Nkwo day, we don't marry in our place. Praise the Lord. So you are now, your marriage supposed to, after today, what you follow is the gift tomorrow. Then you are married today. The gift that's supposed to come tomorrow did not come. And the situation demands that your people should go and prepare. But eventually, they did not have this on ground. Are you with me now? Then tomorrow they're supposed to go to market. But they did not go because of one market day. Now they have to go on the next day, which is now 8K. Praise the Lord. Let's suppose that they're supposed to bring the when they go to market, they have to come and arrange things. Praise the Lord. And they're supposed to bring it to you on Orient, you're in the spirit. Praise the Lord. Now it happened that on this Orient day, maybe somebody died. Let's use this theory now. Somebody died that no one will go out. Are you there? Then they have to give that same Orient. Finally, before they will come on a convey, they are traveling back to Lagos. Am I making some sense? So how many holidays do we have in that week? 2 instead of, because one was a natural day, holiday, the other was a coincidence. Am I right? And they're supposed to come to our home. There was no problem with that, but the fact was that you're no more at home. Are you with me now? If you're there, hold your hands. Praise the Lord. So that was exactly what happened. But you see, like I told you before, these people, they call them the synoptic and gospel writers. Everybody was writing from his own view. John didn't feel to tell you, and because you know that this has never been a controversy in their days, Easter was never a problem in their days. It is our days that this problem started. I'm going to take you there. Therefore, John said Jesus was crucified, and because there was Sabbath coming, praise the Lord, they quickly buried the man. No mind them. You understand? But Luke says, you don't know what happened. Even after the burial, when my sister, I don't know if you know that Luke is a cousin to Jesus through the mother. That is why Luke has elaborate history of Jesus' activities in this world. Because the one people did not tell him, Mary told him. And Luke, among the synoptic gospel writers, was a researcher, a medical doctor. He went into archives, researched and got materials. Amen. And he was always leading to Mary, the mother of Christ, who told him the story. And the Bible said that Mary was among those who went to buy these goods. You know, see where the fact came from. He said, even when we went for the goods, we came back, we prepared, we could not even go the next day because the next day was Sabbath. And the day they were preparing it was from New Living Translations Friday. Am I making some thoughts? If you are together with me, praise the Lord. And chapter 24 of the same Luke says, upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came up to the sepulchre, bringing the spices which they had prepared and certain others with them. Amen. Amen. Jesus was crucified today. The following day, they went to the market. They came back the day after, which is 2 days time, because of the Sabbath, they went to the market. They came back from the market, they prepared the material, turned it into ointments to anoint the body. Another Sabbath came. The rest said, very early, they had to go. Unfortunately, they met an empty tomb. If I ask you to count it backwards, which day do you think Jesus was crucified? You will know if you are right or wrong. With the head for the Lord Jesus. We got to know that. But at least we are making some points. Are we? Are you happy? In the verse? Okay. I'm going to bring out some testimonies, confirmations from those that have researched about this. Amen. Amen. There's a book they call this, is like a book, but not totally a book, but what we call scroll. I don't know if you know that those days the word of God was written in scroll. It was in scroll before they translated to books that today we call Bible. Scrolls are like handouts. Amen. Praise the Lord. I know Pastor Frank has given you some manual before, Sunday school manual, 2 leaves and 3 leaves. That is the scroll form. But the difference here that scroll is always longer. When they want to fold it, they put something in the middle to fold it. Amen. Are you with me? So that is called scroll. And there's one that is very prominent. They call it Dead Sea Scroll. The reason why they call this one Dead Sea was because this was found years after Christ. Amen. At the north side of the Dead Sea, you know there's a sea called Dead Sea in Israel. Hello? At the north side of Dead Sea, these scrolls were found, and it is said that there were about 800 scrolls in one pot. 800 scrolls and some fragment of scroll, that is pieces now, but 800 were completely rolled. Amen. And some fragment, this year was in the year of 1947. Amen. How did they find this scroll? Because after the death resurrection of Christ, many things happened. The dissolution of Israel, the scatter and all this stuff. Then suddenly, everywhere was deserted. But a man came, a shepherd, was looking for one of his ram, if you like, goats, praise the Lord, that went astray. As he was looking and searching for it, he came to this point and he saw something like a pot. He dug in and pulled the pot up, only to discover that there are about 800 scrolls in this pot. He went straight to call the archaeologists, and they came and they looked into it, and they confirmed that this was the true story, history of religion, Christianity. As a matter of fact, everything about the history of Jewish tradition and Christianity was in that scroll. So it was not just about Jesus alone, it was about everything about Jews, their worship and everything. Praise the Lord. As well as the answer to so many questions that arose before and after Christ about who Christ was, his days of service in this life, how he died and resurrected. Praise the Lord, somebody. And they found in that scroll that the Last Supper took place on Tuesday. And many ancient Christian writers testify to this fact that it is true the Last Supper took place on Tuesday. If you know the history of the Bible, after the Last Supper, or even in the course of eating the Last Supper, what happened? Let me finish here. If you don't answer, I will not go on. Of course, they were still at the supper. One is said, one of you that is eating this my bread now. Are you still there? Will set me off. Praise the Lord. The feast was still on when Judas sneaked. Are you still there? So if Jesus was arrested on that Last Supper day, the scroll said the Last Supper happened on Tuesday. Was it that same day he was crucified? The answer is no, because it had to be taken to the high priest, to the governor, and to the Pontius Pilate. Amen. It was at the Pontius Pilate place that they discovered and remembered Tomorrow is going to be Sabbath. Let us quickly do something. Are you listening now? So what do you think, or when do you think Jesus was crucified? Even when I'm giving you clues, that's why someone says one copycat was writing a car. He specialized in school. And everybody who had been a lecturer in that school know him as, when I was in school, they called that time bullet with a mark. Because school now bullet. So this man is having to school. They don't know, before he entered the hall, they will start him up and down. So he now became wiser. You know, anybody who's a criminal is very intelligent. If you are a nurse, you can't be a criminal. That is so. But God will turn our wisdom to great things. Let me say that. Even out of our children. Amen. You know, there was a criminal. Someone was arrested and is in Greek. Amen. But he bought cars over 400 million from dealers. He will just send fake alerts. And you know they buy toy car, Hummer Jeep, Hummer bombs, all those class of shoes. Finally, before and he told the wife is in America. When my husband is in America, if they send money to her account, if they prison, it also be like my head, neck, be like that. So that criminal mind, if you use that book, they start saying, I feel I don't put your hands on the Lord. So this young man who's very good in school, he went a day before the exam, wrote the answers based on fun. You know the confidence he had, they were not very nice. In fact, they found no good. But on that day of the exam, he didn't know that because the school authority knew was going to be hot, so they have prepared the man. So when the exam was set, they give up wisdom. He knows to God be shaken. When the invigilator says, start, they put the generator on. It is 5 minutes. As they found they know that it's the next day. Even as I gave you clues, see the this exam. You don't be like that person. Put your hands to the Lord. We agree here that the supper took place on Tuesday according to the dev scroll. Please, when you're reading about God, go into research, go into net, search out the truth. Praise the Lord. Search out about Dead Sea Scrolls. So they reported that the supper took place on Tuesday, and we know that Jesus was crucified a day after the supper because he was arrested, and as they're going about to confirm, who will approve his death, the following day was on, and they marshaled him to Golgotha when they crucified him, knowing that the Sabbath was around. They've already prepared a sepulchre. Are you there? It did not end there. I'll show you something. Amen. Still historically, Catholic Encyclopedia, I don't know if you know what encyclopedia means, is a book that contains the history of a particular body. It is the minor encyclopedia. From the day the minor is found till the day Jesus will come, the whole history will be there. So the Catholic Encyclopedia says something. It says that not all Catholic scholars have believed this Good Friday theory. Even when they said there was a conflict of interest. Some people are saying in their life we shouldn't do this. Others are saying we should do that. And you know, in Catholic, when Pope says something, everyone submits. Praise the Lord Jesus. Now, There's a Bible we call the Companion Bible. Please look for it wherever you see it by. It is published by Oxford University Press. In this appendix, maybe you want to the level. Appendix is the part of any book that contains total story, history of everything written in that book. Some Bible has appendix. Praise the Lord. So this Bible, written by the Oxford University Press, or printed rather by Oxford, is called Companion Bible. In page 156 says, Christ was crucified on Wednesday. Now the people dig Bible. I never heard of dig Bible. I have one here now. Dig Bible. This is one of the most sanctified and qualified Bible you can have. Praise the Lord. Pastor, I want you to read this one. Let's quickly go to the book of Matthew. Matthew chapter 12. There's what is called Bible commentary. I've not talked about that before. This Bible is respected because of its commentary. What stands the Bible out is its commentary. So read the commentary of Matthew. Before you read Matthew 12:40, what did he say in that book? My sister. Anybody can read it? Matthew 12:40, what did he say?
Well, as Jonah was
inside the belly of the whale, how many days?
3 days
and 3 nights. So the Son of Man will be in the belly of the earth, how many days? 3 days and 3 nights. So the dead author was commenting on this. And he says, Pastor, are you there? Let's go.
Says Christ was dead for 3 full days.
Christ was dead for 3 full days.
And for 3 full nights.
And 3 full nights. Let's go.
He was put in the grave.
He was put in the grave. Wednesday.
Just before sunset.
Before sunset. Sunset means evening. The sun starts setting in some places in Nigeria from 6 p.m. right? So before evening time, before the end of evening, he was quickly crucified. Because they will not allow nightfall to meet the body outside. Why? Because for Passover. Let's go.
And he was resurrected.
I was resurrected.
At the end of Saturday.
At the end of Saturday.
At sunset.
At sunset. That is to say, evening on Saturday, this man resurrected. That was why when Mary and others got there very early in the morning, if he did resurrect in the morning, they would have met him. Very early in the morning, they were there, he wasn't there. And nobody saw him because that Saturday was, everybody was hiding inside. Is there no one?
Good Friday should be changed to Good Wednesday.
Did you hear that? Good Friday should be changed to Good. Who said that? Cosmos?
No statement says that he was buried Friday at sunset.
No statement ever states that he was buried on Friday at sunset.
This would make him in the grave only 1 day and 1 night.
If you go by Friday burial, it means Jesus spent 1 day, 1 night in the grave. It means he lied or he lived against his own commandment. Remember, he said, Son of Man will stay in the belly of the earth. How many days? So if he had been 1 day, 1 night, it means he deceived us. But I know he's not a deceiver.
Proving his own word untrue.
That means he would have proven his word not so true.
And he said the Sabbath of John 19:31 was not a regular weekly one.
Did you hear? The Sabbath of John 19:21 was not a regular weekly Sabbath.
But a special Sabbath for the feast.
A special Sabbath for the feast. And this Sabbath comes once a year. In remembrance, are you true? God bless you. In remembrance of their exit from the land of Egypt. If you have a shout Jesus. If you have a shout Jesus. Let us go. Are we going somewhere? We're not done yet. Number one, we have nullified the fact that Jesus was not crucified on Friday. Now let's count it. Wednesday evening, praise the Lord. Through Wednesday evening, it will give birth to Thursday morning. How many nights? Then Thursday morning till evening, how many days? Thursday night that give birth to Friday, how many? 2 nights. Then Friday evening that give birth to Saturday, how many? 3 nights and 3 days. If you are learning, shout Jesus. Now let's come back to Good Friday. Someone will say, what is good about this Friday? As you've seen and heard in the Bible, so many theories to confirm it and testify to that. This man was not crucified on Friday at all. So why did they bring in Friday for us? They were searched because there is no concept about Friday in the Bible. Have you seen anyone? We need to research about Friday. We discovered that Friday theory, amen, came from the name Freya, F-R-E-Y-A. This is a goddess. You know what goddess means? Female God, woman God. Amen. So there's a female goddess in ancient days. And this female goddess is believed to be the giver of peace, joy, and fertility. Which means there is something that is connecting Friday and fertility. You know what fertility means? Fruitfulness. Amen. And the research said that among the Chinese, the Assyrians, Phoenicians, and Babylonians, fish is a symbol of fertility. Am I saying something? Among the Chinese, Assyrians, Phoenicians, Babylonians, fish is a symbol of fertility. Praise the Lord. Are you now surprised that the water spirit in charge of fertility is in fish form? I told you, and I've said it out with our number. In water spirit, they have 2 groups: the fish and the snail. Is it true? Oh, yes. I told you that the fish stand for immorality, sexuality, which is equaling fruitfulness. They are the ones that give all these Abiku children. Why the snake type is the wicked one, the witchcraft in the water. They kill, they cause accident, they take away womb, pick it in the womb, they cause miscarriage, they drink blood. Fish in water spirit group, they don't drink blood. The one that causes accident and drink blood are the snake type, they are the wicked one. That is why some of these women that work for them, some will say, my work is not to do bad. Those ones are working for the fish group. If you meet them to kill somebody, they say, no, we're not a kill. That's not their life. That does not mean that they are saints. Are you seeing that? And if you look amongst all the animals, fish has higher number of child or children at a go. Some fish has up to 10,000 eggs and they release it once. That is why all the trawlers in the world are still fishing in the ocean. Fish no dey finish. Fish is a symbol of fertility. Amen. So Friday was derived from that Freya goddess that gives them what? Children. Amen. And there is something about that goddess. One of the sad things, that is the only thing he uses to walk, is fish. Am I teaching something? Then you have another goddess they call Venus. Venus god is a Syrian god. And I know the Romans worship it also. Praise the Lord. I know if you heard of Venus before. I know if you don't use Venus cream. God bless you. Read the deliverance. You know, in Venus cream, you will see the fine lady there without legs, without hand rather. Very beautiful picture of beauty. That's the goddess called Venus. And the Israel people, they are very kind enough to tell you, this is where the powers of the cream come from. They didn't hide it, they placed it there. It's from Venus and it's named after the goddess. As a matter of fact, when you start using this cream, you will be like our... And we are using with God pleasure. I know some people will have steam bath today. But those who use Venus before, you need what? Hot water bath with anointing. Put your hands for the Lord. So, and this Venus god is being known for fertility. Praise the Lord. And it has fish as one of its start material. It may please you to note again that veneral is a word that came from Venus. That is why you have veneral disease. Disease that has to do with sexuality. That goddess is called the goddess of sexuality. The god that gives them fruitfulness. And it has fish as a start material. Do not forget, fish and Friday are brothers and sisters. And I know that you know that I know also that on Good Friday we know they eat meat, but what is it telling you? Somebody say hey. Amen. I know you did not eat fish on Friday. But I mean, did not eat meat on Friday, but fish. And if I had known, I would have requested for all the meat so that you eat the fish. But you now see where the fish law came. Nobody should eat meat, but what? In respect, in honor of the God of Friday, which is the God that honors fish for fertility. Have you seen where idolatry connected Good Friday? Am I saying something? I'm going somewhere, please follow me. Amen. Not done yet. There is a goddess called Ashtoreth. This was also worshipped by the Israelites in Egypt as a pagan god. This god is also known in Egypt as God of fruitfulness, and yet regarded fish as his served object. Are you with me? How many of you even know that when you eat fish in a dream, it means water spirit has initiated you? I'm not sure I heard of that before. Only one person. Two. You need to get up now. What is another tissue? If you eat fish in a dream you are in, you need to come and salute me for deliverance. I'm always there. Amen. So you now see the connection. Have you seen the connections? Praise the Lord. You are not more talking. Are you agreeing with me? Are you agreeing with me? I am trying to save you from spiritual idolatry. From idolatry that every Christian today is in and will still claiming to be Christians. The truth that you know and practice will set you free. So I am done with Good Friday theory. I'm still going to bring them together. Praise the Lord. Let's talk about Easter. I've told you already that it's only in King James Version that Acts 12:4 says, or called Easter, pronounced Easter. Only from Genesis to Revelation, you can only find Easter in Acts 12:4. But that is if your Bible is King James. If your Bible is King James, wave your hand. We're going to read. If your own is not King James, wave your hand again. You will read it too. So let King James 12:4 read for me in Acts. Wait. Anybody, if you're there, raise your hand. I'll give you a microphone.
Praise God. Acts 12:4. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to Paul's square of soldiers to keep him intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people.
That is, God bless you. That's King James Version. Okay, fine. If you have New King James, raise your hand. New, this is that New King James. New King. This is Old King James. Then the New King James.
Verse 4 says, so when he had arrested him, he put him in prison and delivered him to four of soldiers to keep him, intending to bring him before the people after Passover.
God bless you. The same King James coming back to correct themselves. Say, no, it's not Easter. Easter is not a Christian word. It's a goddess. They corrected themselves by calling it. You have any translation at all. Let your Bible, any translation, raise your hand. Any translation that is not King James.
After his arrest, Peter was put in jail where he was handed over to be guarded by 4 groups of 4 soldiers each. Herod planned to put him on trial in public after Passover.
What's the translation?
Good news.
Good news. Hold it there. So, if you have any Bible reading, you discover that your Bible will say Passover. Except you are using the first King James, it will say Easter. You know why I said it? The reason was that the person that translated the Bible from Greek to first English, first King James Version, that man was Martin Luther King, and a Catholic bishop. When he revolted, when he had problem of belief and faith with them, he ran away. They wanted to kill him. He smuggled himself through the towers into England, and the King of England called King James. That's why we call it King James Version. The King of England at that moment was called King James. King James gave Martin Luther power because every other country was afraid of Catholic. That's why we have Roman Empire. They have authority. You can't stay in Nigeria and talk against them. And you know, Catholic has embassy all over the world. And they call the ambassadors Papa Pronuncio to the hands of the Lord. So, but only England. You know why England has such power? Because they have their own church called the Church of England. That is Anglican. Are you still there? So, because they own Anglican church, they refuse to submit to Roman system of church, which is Roman Catholic. Praise the Lord. And because of that, they want to exert the authority. They now, based on the authority and independence of their belief, gave Martin Luther authority. Translate it. Let the Rome come. We'll fight it out. Praise the Lord. So when he did, still having the mentality of Catholic, he put in Easter instead of Passover. But when it was revealed, he now realized that it's not, it is. So take me up for, put your hand for the Lord. Having proven that the word Easter came from a pagan goddess. Easter is the name of a pagan goddess. This goddess is known as the goddess of the light of day, that is sun. The light of the day is called sun. The light of the night is called moon. Praise the Lord. So it's the goddess of sun god or goddess. And they call it also the goddess of spring. So Easter is a goddess of sun and spring. You know what spring means? Spring is a particular season when you have abundance of flowers. So that even agriculture, you know what I mean, and we need a farmer's market. That time flowers will start coming up from every tree. And after the flower comes what? The fruit. Am I right? Hello. Pollination will take place, am I right? I don't think. When pollination takes place, then there will be the production of fruits. But it is called what season? Spring. Praise the Lord. Which means Easter is God of sun and God of fertility, because it is in spring that those trees are fertilized to produce fruit. Is it true? Shout Jesus. Are you with me? So Easter is a goddess, praise the Lord, of sun and fertility. Have you seen the connection of Easter with fish? Fish is of fertility, and Easter is a goddess of fertility also. And fish supposed to be, by this, one of the start material. Amen. Before now, Easter has other names. As a matter of fact, as the day goes by, the year goes by, the century goes by, they were changing their names, and more so in different countries. Amen. Of the ancient world, they had different names for Easter, but all of them sound similar. Praise the Lord. Easter is also called Eostre, E-O-S-T-R-A. Another name for it is Ostera, O-S-T-E-R-A. Then you have Amsterdam. I told you about it in the land of Egypt, A-S-T-A-R-T-E. The next one is Ishtar, I-S-H-T-A-R. As a matter of fact, that's where the sound and the pronunciation of the modern day Easter came from. What is the name of Jesus? Are you still there? Having said that, Easter is a modern way of worshiping sun god and god of fertility, which means mixture of Christianity and paganism, which the word of God speaks against. That is paganizing Christianity. Amen. Or Christianizing paganism. Whichever way. You are still on. Shout Jesus. Amen. Is it that you bring pagan into Christianity, or you take Christianity into pagan? They are the same thing. Easter is one of them. Are you celebrating? It means you are bringing paganism into Christianity. And you know, the Catholic Church that established that was known, has been known because it's still in practice for that. Amen. Bible is against that. Let's see what Bible says in Ezekiel 8:16. Ezekiel 8:16. Okay. Ezekiel chapter 8, verse number 16, in the name of Jesus. I read. King James Version says, "And he brought me into the inner courts of the Lord's house. And behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces towards and they worshipped the sun." You see, inside the temple of God, like here now, God was angry of how Israelites had brought paganism into the church. And you know, this is the reason that brought about the destruction and the enslaving of Israel. The Israelites, even in Babylon. That's what Ezekiel was shouting about. We have brought and introduced paganism into our religious worship. For you to know that it did not start today. It started even before Jesus. That is exactly what Jesus was against. At the age of 12, he was in the temple condemning the Pharisees. And they wanted to shut him up. Who is this small rat? And when they returned back 30 years later, continue to pick holes in their practice. And that's why they decided to crucify him. It may please you to know that the people that crucified Jesus were not followers. We're not ordinary Jewish people. We're not the Romans who were governing the land, but the high priests. That is to say, in today's parlance, the bishops and the pastors. They are the one that insisted he must die. When the governor said to release him, is not guilty. The high priest said, find him guilty. If you leave him, he will take over your throne. And the governor said, in fact, I am out of this matter. From what region did you bring this man? He said, from Bethlehem to here, am I right? And he said, who is in charge of that local government? And they said the name of the local government chairman was Pontius Pilate. Say, take it to Pontius Pilate, that is the jurisdiction. It is not another matter yet. Why? The man does not want to commit murder because this man was innocent. Praise the Lord. And Pontius Pilate found him no guilty. He climbed the staircase and said, release this man. And they told him, Sabbath is coming. Let's do this before. And he said, I cannot do that. They told him, we are going to Rome to report you. Who said so? The high priest. We are going to report you that someone wants to take over the government. He said he is the king. And that's why Pontius Pilate asked him, are you truly the king? He said, my kingship and my kingdom is not of this world. But I really want to find him guilty. Who? The pastors and the bishops. Praise the Lord. Why? Because he was exposing the evil in worshiping God. And when they pressed Pontius Pilate further, the wife warned him, free this innocent. He thought of the smartest way to get out. He said, okay, fine, I know what to do. Every year, a thief, a guilty man a jail fellow is released on liberty law. Are you seeing that? Yes. His mind was telling him that Barnabas was a murderer. For all the people that presented Jesus, Barnabas had attacked them one time or the other, directly or indirectly. His conviction was that the moment they see Barnabas, they say, crucify Barnabas. But he was wrong. Before he could present Barnabas and Jesus, the high priest and the followers has campaign ground. If I hear you say that, you will see that. And that's why, consciously or unconsciously, everybody was shouting, crucify. Even those that were angry, you have to shout, or else they will visit you at night. The news is still, this is the height of it in religion. Christianity is destroyed, torn apart. It does not exist anymore. In the days of Ezekiel, people were in the temple of God, backing the temple, the altar lights. Even where they used to put the scroll, the covenant box, they were close to it. They did not fear, and they faced east and was worshiping who? Sun God. And don't forget, who is that is? Who is that? And because of that, God was angry. Praise the Lord. It was because of this that, let's see, Jeremiah 44. Jeremiah 44. If 44, we're reading verse 24 to 10.
Then Jeremiah said to them all, including the women, listen to this message from the Lord, all you citizens of Judah who live in Egypt. This is what the Lord of heaven's armies, the God of Israel, says. You and your wives have said, we will keep our promises to burn incense and pour out liquid offering to the Queen of Heaven.
To who?
To the Queen of Heaven.
Queen of Heaven.
And you have proved by your actions that you meant it. So go ahead and carry out your promises and vows to her. But listen to this message from the Lord. All you Judeans now living in Egypt. I have sworn by my great name, says the Lord, that my name will no longer be spoken by any of the Judeans in the land of Egypt.
Hold on. My name should no more be spoken in the mouth of the people of Israel in Judea. Why? Because they were worshiping and paying and bowing down to Queen of. Because of that, God excommunicated them. Because I don't have anything to do with you people anymore. Are they still worshiping Queen of Heaven today? Continue.
None of you may invoke my name or use this code. As surely as the sovereign Lord lives, for I will watch over you to bring you disaster and not good. Everyone.
He will bring to them what?
Disaster.
Disaster and not good. Because they are worshiping other gods, they are paying homage to Queen of Heaven.
Everyone from Judah who is now living in Egypt will suffer war and famine until all of you are dead. Only a small number will escape death and return to Judah from Egypt. Then all those who came to Egypt will find out whose words are true, mine or theirs. And this is the proof I give you, says the Lord, that all I have threatened will happen to you, and that I will punish you here. This is what the Lord says. I will turn Pharaoh, king of Egypt, over to his enemies who want to kill him, just as I turned King Zedekiah of Judah over the king Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon. Praise God.
Did you hear that? How he turned king of Judea to Babylon to be king because of what? Idol worship. There is nothing as painful to God as you serving idol. And the worst is right inside his temple, the place you call his house, and you're still serving other gods. Praise the Lord. Remember he says, I am the jealous. Are we together? You have seen the evil of idol worship. Remember when we started this journey, 10 commandments. The Lord has said, thou shalt not serve another. And to the glory of the Lord, that message ushered us into Easter, which is in agreement still with the topic, thou shalt not serve. And I say that serving another God today is no more going to the temple of Satan, but right inside us and even in the house of God, we do that. And God is against that. How many of you know that the same Baal we talk about is God of song and fertility? Amen. You know the Baal that Elijah had contest with? He is also the God of song. And you remember that at the time of contest, Elijah said, the one that will consume with fire, let him be the... What he meant here was that Elijah challenged them to what they claim is the power their God possesses. It took the battle into their home. Amen. We're going to read that. We discover that before they start calling their God, they waited till morning hour when the sun was rising. Amen. When they believe their God is now sitting properly in the office. And that's why the Bible said they called their God from that morning till noon. And when it was noon, they got tired. Why? Because if the man did not answer in the morning, he know they work in the afternoon. It is God of sun. Are you still there? And that's why from 12, Elijah started mocking them. And if you read about very well, Elijah called his own God in the evening to prove to them, my God can answer any time, and he will still come with fire. Yes, we worship. Maybe I'll show you. Let's square the remaining time. Let's see 1 Kings 18:26. First Kings 18:26.
First Kings 18:26. So they prepared one of the goods and placed it on the altar. Then they called on the name of the Baal from morning until noontime, shouting, "O Baal, answer us." But there was no reply of any kind. Then they danced, hobbling around the altar they had made.
God bless you. Is it like that your Bible? From morning till noon they got tired. If this man don't come in the morning because as sun in the sunrise they take walk. That means we are doomed. And they tried to provoke it by dance. I told you the power of dance the other day. And I know some of you, I permitted your dance style on Sunday. You know why? We were still in a learning process. I believe that from today you may have graduated. You dance to the Lord in this same church. When the people of the Baal worshippers call on their Baal God, they did not come. They started dancing to him because they know through dance, the Baal too will have been putting in the two commands. We show that there's a way you dance to the Lord, you provoke him into doing something. Believe that, shout Jesus? Yeah. Let your dance unto the Lord. Hallelujah. So because of time, let me see if I can move a little faster. Let's look at the length connection. Length connection. I just want to make sure I upgrade you and your knowledge. Length connection. How do you know what I mean by length? The interesting thing about Lent is that it was introduced by Catholic, but today some Pentecostal churches are doing Lent. It means we are confused. And these people, they go change to Islam, they bow their head. Praise the Lord. You say you don't like what this. Okay, if you are practicing Lent, what made you leave Catholic? You want to go and open business. If not that you want to open business, why do you leave what you believe in? Amen. Let's see the connection of Lent. Amen. Lent. Let's see the book of Ezekiel 8. Quickly, I'll take it from there. Ezekiel 8. Ezekiel chapter 8. If you're there, read verse 14.
Verse 14 says, they brought me to the north gate of the north temple, and some women were sitting here, weeping for the god Tammuz. Praise God.
Yeah, then, God bless you. Weeping for who? Tammuz. Tammuz. Who is a Tammuz? Hello. He got there. Ezekiel was in the temple. The first sight, the first thing he saw people that were back in the temple worshiping God of Sun. In the same vein, praise the Lord, the women of Israel were crying unto Tammuz goddess. What is the connection between these two? The sun and the Tammuz. Tammuz is the son of Esther, the goddess. Are you with me? Tammuz is the son of Esther. If you like, Easter. Tammuz is the son of Easter, the goddess. So the story had it that Esther had only one son called Tammuz. He lived 40 years. At the 40th birthday, if you like, he was killed by one wild bull. You know what bull is? Bull. Who are supposed to be a snake? Praise the Lord. One wild bull. Praise the Lord. So that bull killed Tammuz, because Tammuz was the only son of Easter. Easter wept uncontrollably. They said that Easter was weeping, and he wept for 40 days. Praise the Lord. After weeping for 40 days, then there was spring. As a season, the flowers started budding. That's springtime. I don't know if you get that. I don't know if you understand. He was weeping for the child. She was weeping, beside the woman. She was weeping for the child. Praise the Lord. And refused to give up. Why was she weeping? She was weeping that the child was returned back from the spiritual world. Are you there? As she was still weeping, waiting, another was saying she was mourning and refused to remove the mourning cloth. I will not remove this cloth until my son returns back from the spiritual. Are you with me? So as she was still weeping, then he entered into the season of spring. Flowers started budding, and she said to herself, the sun has returned back as spring. Are you flowing? Oh, come on. You know, I told you Easter is a sun god and god of the spring, which is fertility. Did I say so? You see the connection now. So she believed that the moment the spring started, it means that the sun has returned back from the spiritual world to multiply. And that is why, for every season preceding planting Israel will join Easter in weeping or mourning. And they do it for how many days? Because he lived 40 years, so each day represents 1 year. They will do it for 40 years, 40 days, and it corresponds with the springtime. And the moment the spring starts coming up, they will celebrate. They will do what? Throw party. That the God that gives them fruitfulness has come. And they go back to their farm with happiness, hoping to harvest bounty harvest within the period. Are you see that? How many days do they fast? What are the expectations? That their God will come back. Praise the Lord. And if he comes back, he will give them harvest. Amen. What marks the end of each fasting? Celebration. Are you in the spirit? How many days do they fast in the Lent? After the Lent, what follows? The expectation was that the Son of Man, somebody shout Jesus. I said, somebody shout Jesus. Somebody shout Jesus. Are you with me or against me? If there will be one against me. Praise the Lord. You see, what I'm trying to bring out here is that from the beginning of Lent to the end of Lent. And don't forget, before the Lent, when does Ash Wednesday come? I forgot. But ash is a sign of mourning. Do you agree? In the Bible, olden days, they pour ash on their head to show that they are mourning. So they are mourning the death of Tammuz. And they go into fasting expecting that it should come back to bless them. At the end of it, it clicks with Easter. They celebrate with the pagans that their God of spring has come back. Then they ask us to join. That it is called Easter. If you have eaten Easter rice before, I think it's a good place to say, with the essence of the Lord. The good thing is that I've been able to trace so many people. A sister called me from the outside 2 days ago, and he said, he was talking about Sunday today. He said, yes, I know, and I know we are not celebrating Easter. I said, that's interesting. So you know, he said, well, I know we know. So we look east, that. Outside the country. So that proved to me that I am doing the work of God. After when Jesus left the world, how many people believed in 120 only? The other people were won over by the disciples. And if I could raise 120 to heaven, I've met Jesus' record. Put your hands for the Lord. So Lenten season is idolatrous. Good Friday, idolatrous. Worshipping of the Queen of Heaven, idolatrous. Easter celebration, idolatrous. I talked about Christmas before. This is not Christmas season, so I leave that one there. Put your hands for the Lord. But you know, sometimes our people say, when you dig, how many of you know what dig means? Ekme for our language. Ekme makuta. Bani apa? Amen. There's the way you pick a thief from the dog. Pastor Chris. When you pick a thief from the dog, show it to the dog, so that the dog will not eat the pinching. And if the dog concludes that it's pinching, it will fight back. But when you collect the pig, sure, you will not say, I favor the Lord. Somehow, let us read from the Bible again, Acts of the Apostles. Amen. Chapter 12, verse number 4. Read the commentary on this stuff. Acts 12:4. Are you there? Are you sure? Yes, sir. Now listen to the Bible commentary. Acts 12:4. Let's go.
The Passover as strange.
A Passover
As strange.
as strange.
Place.
Okay, go on.
In 28 other places.
It's still in 28 other places in the Bible. Go on.
Matthew 26 to 19.
These are references.
Mark 14 1 to 16.
References.
Luke 2 41. 22 1 to 15. John 2 13 23. Verse 13 and 23. Then John 6 chapter 4 verse 11. 4. John 6 4. Then John 11 55. John 12 1. John 13 1. John 18 28. Then 39. John 19 14 and 1 Corinthians 5 7. Hebrew 11 28. This is an unfortunate and absurd Christ. As Easter was a pagan festival.
Yeah.
Observe.
Easter was a pagan. It's why it is an unfortunate situation. Easter was a pagan festival. Go on.
Observed.
Observe.
Long before Christ.
Long before Christ. I've shown you the connections in the Old Testament. Praise the Lord. How about it? So you see, Easter was a celebration before Christ. Let's go.
It is not a Christian name.
It's not a Christian name.
But it's derived from Ashtar. From Ashtar. One of the Babylonian titles of an idol goddess.
That is the names I've given you. I said the names were evolving in different time and through different communities. So,
the Queen of Heaven.
There is the same Easter that is the Queen of Heaven.